Except for the insurance and closing.
Oh, well, what insurance company?
Ah, they're all the same.
Allstate's different.
Different. How?
We give a 10% discount for newer homes.
Oh?
It's a 10% discount.
Now 10% off our rate.
On basic homeowners insurance for houses 5 years old or less.
Allstate's different, all right.
Good hand.
Oh, boy.
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us. They're good hands, people.
You know, it looked like a light day, with nothing to deliver but posters for the AC Spark Plug Buy 7, Get 1 free sale. What could be easier, right? Wrong. Do you know how many places sell AC Spark Plugs? And everyone with a poster like this is selling 8 AC Spark Plugs for the price of 7, as long as supplies last. Sure, getting a free AC Spark Plug is a great idea. But you better move fast.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports presents live coverage of the Series Championship of Women's Tennis with Chris Evert and Billie Jean King heading the field. That's next Saturday at 2:30.
The Rams leading the Saints 26-24. Septien kicking very deep. Chapman on the goal line. Behind the wedge. Out to the 20, 25, 30-yard line. He was tripped up by Eckern and finally stopped by Nolan Cromwell. A reminder, Championship Saturday, November the 5th, starting at 2:30. The Series Championship of Women's Tennis. Followed then by the CBS Sports Spectacular with the World Middleweight Boxing Championship, Valdez and Briscoe. After that, the Washington, D.C. International, followed by the World's Strongest Men competition. That's the 5th event of the decathlon. That's all coming up starting at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time on Championship Saturday, November 5. Player heard there was a 30-yard return on that kickoff. Hank Stram out there to see how his man is. Gives us a moment to check the rushing. Not that much difference. The Saints have rushed for 164, the Rams 122. The Saints have passed for 50 yards, and the Rams net 241. But Raphael Septien, and you saw that number 1 walking away, he had a string of consecutive point after snap because of the offsides and the bad pass from center.
He may be number 1, but he's not the number 1 scrambler or passer I've seen. You know, the injured player, I believe,
Kim
is
Jones.
Kim Jones, yes, number 32.
He was on the injured reserve list in 1975 because of an ankle injury. He was originally a high draft by Baltimore Hawks.
Go figure. You know, when you contrast the styles of these various clubs, let's see, we got there John Williams, number 75.
Jackie Slater.
Yes, sir. When you contrast the two teams, though, here's the Saints with 5 free agents starting offensively for them, 3 on defense are free agents, and in contrast, the Rams with nothing but number 1s, number 2 draft choices all the way down the line.
Hank Stram was quick to point out, as we see the Cleveland bomb Kansas City 4-7, that the Rams have 16 first-round draft choices in uniform today.
How sweet it is.
That's some high-priced people.
You betcha.
Hang around with that crowd, Hawk.
Touch, the first computer TV. Magnavox Touch Tune Color Television. Touch and lock in computer sharp color, computer fast. Touch, no need to fine tune ever. Touch, at the set or by remote control, computer controlled color. Star System Touch Tune Color Television from Magnavox. Touch one today.
Hi, ever need to rent a car fast? Watch. Hertz, #1 club number 21586, arriving San Diego at 2 p.m. on RAL Flight 9. Returning it there tomorrow. Okay, thanks. That's all there is to it. When you're in the #1 club, nobody makes renting a car faster or easier than the Superstar. Even before you get there, your car is pre-assigned, your forms filled out. So rent a Ford fast from Hertz, the Superstar in rent-a-car.
We have 12:46 left to go in the ball game. 26-24 in favor of the Rams, so that missed point after might prove to be a very big one. 1st and 10 Saints on their own 30. Henry Childs, wide right. Herman in a slot left. Inside Gilliam. Muncy, the deep man out of the eye. Muncy with Galbraith blocking. And he picked up 2 yards. By the way, for the Jack Youngblood marching in Chowder Society, there's 85. He is well and back in the ballgame again.
The surprising thing, the Rams looking so devastating on defense the other night with 4 sacks have not gotten to Bobby Scott one time today.
Meanwhile, Nolan Cromwell is practicing his hold, and Rick Saul is practicing a snap. Remember that high snap, but the Rams were also offside at the same time. 2nd and 8 from the 32. Scott, play action fake to Muncy. Throwing out to Galbraith, and he led him too much. Bob Brzezinski was right there with him.
Once again, going to the play action, hoping to take advantage of the rookie.
Hawk, you have an interesting note. They put the clocks on the quarterback here.
Oh, yes, yes. And one of the reasons Bobby Scott has not been sacked is he's been getting rid of the ball in 2.6 seconds, which is, it's quite quick compared to Pat Hayden, who's been getting 3.07 or something like that to pass, which is ample time. That's good game planning, though. When you play against a team like the Rams, you've got to tell your receivers, I know you might be able to get open on a longer pattern, but we don't have time to hold them off to complete it.
3rd and 8 from the Saints 32. Back stay in the block. And Scott got his man, Henry Childs. And he's to the 45 to the 43-yard line. Monty Jackson made the saver. Big Henry was heading for home.
Henry, originally drafted by the Falcons, let loose, picked up here, another of those free agents I've spoken freely of for the Saints. Runs a good discipline pattern, just find the open area there. Breaks a tackle, and he can go the distance. He had a 58-yard touchdown earlier this year. Bill Simpson finally dragging him down.
And the guy who had tripped him, Monty Jackson, so Henry Childs, who has caught 4 touchdown passes this year, makes a big reception. 1st and 10 on the Ram 42. Muncy is back in as the deep man in the eye. Muncy, nowhere to go. Galbraith threw a block, but there were 3 Rams. And in the middle was Jim Youngblood and Jack Youngblood. It was a family reunion.
Completely overpowering his blocker. Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh nothing. 2nd quarter action. That ought to be a heck of a ball game.
Time left in our game, 10:57. 26-24 Rams. The Ram bench, as they have been all day, kind of quiet, watching the Saints. 2nd and 13 from the 45. Muncy is in there with Galbraith. It's to Henry Childs, and he is bumped out of bounds almost as soon as he touched the ball by Dave Elmendorf. Got it to the 40.
Once again, he'll take an outside release, go down about 5 yards, and turn it on out. That'll be the linebacker's responsibility unless they've rotated into a zone, which obviously they haven't. Simpson, excuse me, that's Elmendorf coming over to bump him out.
So the New Orleans Saints dreaming for an upset, and Rick Zorro, who's kicked a couple, might very well have a hand and a foot in it on the sideline. 3rd and 8 from the 40. Scott getting pressure from Youngblood, throwing to Herman. He can't hold it. Wait a minute, a flag on the play.
Hold everything.
Against Pat Thomas. Pat Thomas interfering on the pass, evidently. Oh, what a big break.
The biggest surprise to me is Don Herman trying to go deep. He just doesn't have the speed. Let's look at it. He got his back to the quarterback and runs straight into him, giving Herman no chance to get to the ball. That penalty was completely warranted. Yes, sir. Official right on the spot there.
So the ball is inside the Ram 12-yard line. 1st and 10. We have 10 minutes, 26 seconds to go in the ball game. There's another look.
Looked for a second like Herman had been able to catch that. Came loose someplace.
So Pat Thomas, guilty of the infraction. The big boys are in there. Childs and Thaxton, the 2 tight ends. And the running backs are just as big, Muncy and Galbraith. 1st and 10 from the 12. Here goes Muncy. Galbraith lays out a block, and he's inside the 10. Bill Simpson and Larry Brooks in on the tackle. Chuck Knox wondering, how do you recapture the kind of a performance you put on last Monday night against Minnesota? How do you come back with that performance again?
I think he's thinking more in terms of getting the ball back, because the offense is having no trouble moving against the Saints.
None.
The Saints are having no trouble moving it against the Rams. This is the number 4 defensive team in football.
2nd and 8 on the Ram 9. Herman is right. Gilliam is left. Muncie and Galbraith out of the eye. Tight end on the right side, Henry Childs. Whoops. It looked like
Too much
the
time.
clock had run out.
Too much time on that 30-second clock.
And for Bobby Scott, after 6 years in the NFL, that's an embarrassing moment for him to take too long. Big play.
And the quarterback is responsible for getting the team in the huddle, out of the huddle, in time to get the play off.
There's Septien, and there is Zarro, the two men who might figure very prominently when we get down to the nitty-gritty. They both can kick the field goals. They both have kicked a couple, but a missed point after has kept the Saints just 2 points back. 2nd and 13 from the 14. Scott, buried. He was hit by Jim Youngblood and Isaiah Robertson.
And the blitz was indeed on that time. That's the first sack of Bobby Scott today.
That brings up that point you mentioned earlier about how quick Scott has been in getting the ball away, but this time they get after him.
They feel they needed a little additional help up there, and they said blitz 2 of the linebackers. Neither one were picked up.
So remember, on the pass interference, they had 1st and 10 on the 11. Now it is 3rd and 23, thanks to the first sack of the day by the Rams. Only their 12th sack of the year. They had 45 last year. Brzezinski is out. Jackie Wallace is in. They're looking pass, of course. Scott, a little release from Muncie, and he dropped it. And so now all the pressure will be on Rick Zarro. Zarro will be coming in on a 4th down. We'll take another look at that pass to Chuck
Now you
Muncie.
look at Bobby Scott. Get a little in and out, the grapevine, whatever you want to call it for the Rams. It's a twisting thing. It was an unusual release by Bobby Scott. He just tried to run with it before he had possession of it. Chuck Muncie.
Looked like he hit Muncie on the right kneecap. So 4th down, and Rick Zarro, who started the day off with a 23-yard field goal. The line of scrimmage is the 24. They're spotting it on the 32. It's a 42-yard field goal. No good.
Uh-oh.
Zarro unable to kick a 42-yard field goal, and the Saints are still trailing by 2. With 8 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in the ballgame. There it is.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. At 33 miles per gallon highway, 23 city, Fairmont has the highest mileage ratings in its class. Yet it has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. And base sticker prices for the Fairmont line start at just $35.89. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
Should have bought Mobil 1. The oil that saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobil 1. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobil 1. Engine temperature heads 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobil 1. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobil 1, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
8:59 left to go in the ball game, and the Rams have just dodged a bullet. Remember, the Saints had 1st and 10 on the Ram 11. There's Al Cowlings looking on as the Rams break the huddle. 1st and 10, the ball just inside the Ram 25. Waddy in motion right. Second man is McCutcheon. Got away from Derlin Moore, ran into 3 more. Merlo was the first man to hit him. McCutcheon, when he took that ball, had rushed for 100 yards today.
San Francisco trying to get something together against Tampa Bay, but then who doesn't?
Yeah,
San
Tampa
Francisco subbing, Tampa Bay, as usual, nothing.
0 for 20. Second and 6 on the 28-yard line. Billy Waddy wide left, Harold Jackson right. Wendell Tyler in there with McCutcheon. And here comes Tyler. And Merlo trips and slows him up, and then the Saints come in to wrap him up. And there's a flag. Merlo might have been clipped. He was the one who made the first contact with Tyler. And let's see.
It could have been by Terry Nelson, too. Terry Nelson was involved in the thing. It looked like when he bounced outside, he tried to keep from continue blocking, but I don't believe he did.
Yep, it's a clip.
Take a look and let's see. Doug France gets an excellent block here. I don't know whether you're going to see it in the picture or not. 77 hooks his man in. There you see it right there.
Merlo.
Jim Merlo being clipped by Terry Nelson. And those are mistakes that are so costly with your field position that you want to control the ball game. Now it is out of control.
Talking about mistakes, of course, one that jumps to mind immediately was the play where the time ran out on Bobby Scott. That's a big 5 yards. That makes a lot of difference to a guy trying to kick a field goal.
Indeed it does, Ben.
There's Joe Namath, alone with his thoughts.
Bert Jones and his boys getting it together, 10-0 over Pittsburgh. And what's happened to the Steelers?
And Hank Stram, the perpetual, incredible walking man.
Said, I can outcoach most of the coaches in football, can outdress all of them.
Here's the official. We haven't heard him in quite a while. Personal foul and a clip. We know it was the clippee was Merlo.
You got it.
So that brings the ball to the 14-yard line. Oh, look at Big D.
No mercy. Cowboys are having no mercy, taking no prisoners.
Terry Nelson shifting to the left side as the tight end. Waddy in a slot right inside Jackson. And Hayden, a quick out to Jackson. Ernie Jackson has him. He lateraled, but I don't know whether it was a forward lateral. It might have been a forward lateral by Harold Jackson, and if so, the Rams have stumbled again.
Indeed, it was a forward lateral. Yes, sir.
Well, they picked it off. That flag was in the air as the ball left his hand.
A very calculated call there by Pat Hayden. Not much danger in getting that one intercepted at all. When you get it out in the open field to a guy like that, Ernie Jackson, what a ball game he's played, hangs on with determination.
There's Waddy out in front of him, so it was definitely a forward lateral.
Sure it was.
Jack Youngblood, who was shaken up and out for a little while, he takes time out along with several others. That's Fred Dreyer just to his right. So the two defensive ends are huddling.
Knowing that pretty soon they're going to be entering the ball game again.
So a loss of a down on the illegal forward lateral. It is third down. They'll have to change the scoreboard here. Freddie Dreyer cooling off. It's about 72 in here when you're winning. Now it's 3rd and 20 from the 14. And Hayden is letting out for Billy Waddy. No good. Ernie Jackson right there with him. And Waddy just ran out of real estate looking for the ball. So it is 4th and 20. Glenn Walker will have to punt it out from just about the goal line.
And Ernie Jackson running stride for stride with, well, not quite stride for stride.
No.
He's losing some ground there, but the pass too far out of bounds. Again, Pat Hayden, who does not throw many interceptions, has only had one this year, I believe, is going to play it safe.
Glenn Walker has had one punt for 35 yards. Rick Mouty is deep on his own 40-yard line for a return. And a big play now. It is 26-24 Rams, 8 minutes left. And Walker trying to get the ball deep to New Orleans. Look out for Chapman, but he got it away. Mouty receiving on the 35 to the 40, still on his feet, and down at the 42-yard line. And Clarence Chapman just missed hitting Glenn Walker. Watch.
Let's take a look. Coverage by that Rams, they've only given up 4 yards per punt return. That's the lowest in football. And did he get him? He was blocked into him if he did get him, so it didn't make any difference.
That appeared to be almost a costly mistake for New Orleans. Now they put the ball in play with 7:47 to go. That was a 51-yard punt from the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage, the 42-yard line of New Orleans.
Excellent field position for New Orleans.
Well, here come the Saints. Herman right and Gilliam left. Galbraith and Muncy in the backfield. Here's Muncy. Galbraith blocking on Jack Youngblood. And he's still on his feet as he goes out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Ray Thomas, Pat just came over and pushed him out. But Chuck Muncy, who has an ankle injury, is very much alive now in the late going of the second half. Next week, the regionals, Dallas and the Giants, New Orleans, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Green Bay, and Kansas City. And two whoppers, St. Louis at Minnesota, Tampa Bay at Los Angeles. The Tampa Bay-Los Angeles whopper means another definition. 2nd and 5 from the 47 of the Saints. Release to Muncy. He gets by Brodzinski, and there he's at the 40 to the 37-yard line. Chuck Muncy.
You believe that guy, the talent, the raw ability he's got? He turns it upfield. He's going to, on a cold, wintry day, he's going to hurt some people when he turns it up. They're getting the ball to him. Hank Stram using all the imagination you'd want to see. Mixing up the plays, brother. Look at the fluidness of this guy. Every bit the ability of an O.J. Simpson or a Peyton.
Boy, he faked Brodzinski right out of his pads.
He can do it. If he wants to, he can do it.
First and 10 on the Ram 37. Bobby Scott asking for quiet. Gilliam left and Herman right. The backs are split. Here comes Galbraith. Big block by Morrison, and he's across the 30. John Morrison put a big punching block on Jack Youngblood, and that let Galbraith pick up the yardage.
Watch Don Herman come into the picture with another block here. There's Morrison's block, 76. You'll see Don Herman in here someplace, yeah. He cracked back on somebody. And the hole's open in there, staying right with that game plan.
The Saints are marching 2nd and 1 on the Ram 29-yard line. 6:27 left to go in the game. Muncy, first down to the 20. And down to the Ram 17, and they are going wild in New Orleans.
Lord Montgomery, Jerry Steve, all that left side. Going to Muncy when they need him. He's been well rested.
Oh, what a running back he is.
Let's look at it. Big hole there. Terry Steve's block, very prominent. Look at him stride it out. If he goes to the outside a little sooner, he might break it. Bill Simpson finally, and how many tackles has he made?
And the Rams now have Jack Youngblood in the middle linebacker spot. It is 1st and 10 from the 17, and the Saints are driving. Scott going to run into Brodzinski, turns away from him and runs yet into another Ram.
And a bad time for a broken play.
Brooks and Jack Reynolds. That's Rich Nuzum. You don't see him play too often as he stands on the sidelines taking in the action. The action is certainly out there. 2nd and 11. The ball on the Ram 18-yard line. 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Rams 26, Saints 24. Gilliam is left. Herman is right. Childs, the tight end, on the left side. Muncy with Galbraith out in front. Got down to about the 13-yard line. Chuck Muncy, a remarkable runner.
And so the Bears shut out the Packers, 26-0. And Bart Starr can't be a bit happy about that, but Chicago's staying in that race.
So Muncy, who had over 100 yards running against the St. Louis Cardinals, well, he is now starting to explode. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. 3rd and 6 from the 13. Muncy is dragged down, and a big play by Jack Reynolds. We told you they just put him in the play, and Reynolds, the inspirational leader on the defense, made a big play.
And he is, last week, entered the game, played only briefly. Out of 9 plays, he made 3 of the tackles. That's the guy that makes this team go, or has in the past.
Well, Rick Zorro was unable to kick a 52-yard field goal. Well, Septien had a 52-yard try. Then Zorro had a 42-yard try. He's also missed from the 50. He made one from the 23. This one will be spotted from the 21. It's a 31-yard field goal attempt. If it's good, the Saints will take the lead. It's up. It is good.
Got it! hit the crossbar and went between it.
3 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in a shocker in New Orleans.
Look at this as it hits that left bar and bounces on through. Santa Claus has truly doubled back on him.
And of course, you immediately go back to the missed extra point by the Rams, and that thing, like the sword of Damocles, hangs over there. And how about that, Fred?
I liked it, but we still got 3.5 minutes, so don't go away.
That's Tom Blanchard, the punter, and the holder. You don't usually put the spotlight on them, but holders are almost as important as the kickers, as well as the snap from center. So the Saints 27, the Rams 26, 3 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the game. Atlanta lost to Minnesota. So this is a big one. And here is the hero for the moment.
You know what
Rizzaro.
You know what he spent his off season doing? He was helping to develop a bicycle that you pedaled back and forth rather than up and down or around. Now you tell me kickers aren't goofy. Would you spend your whole off season doing that? There's something.
For the Rams, Wendell Tyler, flanked by Cullen Bryant and Jim Jodat. And Zarrow kicking it to Jodat and to Cullen Bryant. Will take it to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 27-yard line. Cullen Bryant making the return. Rick Kingray making the tackle, a 27-yard return. Don't forget, Championship Saturday, November the 5th, starting at 2:30 Eastern, the Championship of Women's Tennis, followed by our CBS Sports Spectacular, the World Middleweight Boxing Championship. And after that, the race from the Washington, D.C. International, followed by the World's Strongest Men. And now here come the Rams. Waddy to the left and Jackson to the right. Tyler in there with McCutcheon. The pass is to Jackson, and Ernie Jackson knocks him out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So Pat Hayden has 3 minutes and 20 seconds to work with.
Look at this hit. If Ernie Jackson would be just a little bigger, how dangerous he'd be. He would be a very dangerous person.
He's 5'10", 175. Harold is 5'10", 175. And the crowd chanting defense now, and the Rams 2nd and 3 from the 33. Lawrence McCutcheon across the 35 to about the 37. It just depends on where they mark it. It is that close for a first down. Derlin Moore, number 74, along with Bob Pollard, making the tackle.
You've got somewhat less than a classic confrontation, though. You've got the #1 offensive rushing team in the NFC going against the worst defense against the rush. But they've only got 3 minutes to get it the length of the field.
A milestone in Pat Hayden's career on that pass to Harold Jackson. In his brief professional career, this is his 2nd year, he has completed 100 passes. But let's see, it is the first down. So the Rams, with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, plenty of time, trailing by 1. And you can see Baltimore with a headlock around Pittsburgh.
Oh, that Burt Jones can do so many things with a football, it's scary.
All right, 1st and 10 from the Ram 36. Jackson right, Waddy left. Here comes Wendell Tyler. And Alex Price, number 75, hit him from behind. And he picked up a yard or so, but the sands are running through the hourglass. 2:49 left to go. Saints 27, Rams 26. They have had 17 meetings. The Rams have won 14. All 3 Saints victories have been in New Orleans. 2nd and 5 from the 41. Tyler and McCutcheon behind Hayden. McCutcheon following Tyler's block. And he's across midfield.
What a block by Wendell Tyler. What a block.
A flag on the play, however.
Uh-oh.
Closest man to the flag is Dennis Hara. And a big call going against Los Angeles. In fact, when the flag was thrown, it almost hit Hara.
Well, I'll tell you what, the penalty was definitely not on Wendell Tyler. Look at the block coming up here. If he doesn't stick his hand in there, hits Jim Merlo and does the job, opens that hole.
Hara was blocking on Alex Price, and although it is kind of unfair to call his name since the officials don't put the tab on it with the faulty microphone, it would appear to be that's where the infraction occurred, on the block of Alex Price. So it is 2nd and 15 on the Ram 31. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the game. Jackson left and Waddy right. Backstay in the block to McCutcheon. And he's brought down by Jimmy Stewart at the 35-yard line. We have 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. That was a 2nd and 15, so it'll be 3rd down and about 11. Chuck Knox suddenly making a switch now. Knox sending in Cullen Bryant. And we're coming up to the 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes left. The New Orleans Saints, 27, and the Los Angeles Rams, 26.
Stuntman, you get the bruises instead of the glory. You hit the deck and bite the dust till your bones ache. Then you pick yourself up and do it again.
Okay, cut! That's a wrap, everybody.
Let's go, buddy.
Boy, am I dry.
But now comes Miller time. Time to wrap it up and reach for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
We have 2 minutes left to go in the Superdome. Vin Scully along with Alex Hawkins. And the Saints leading 27-26. The Rams desperately trying to cover the necessary real estate. 3rd and 11 from their own 35. And the crowd chanting defense. Biggest play now for Hayden. Who would he go to if he passes? Jackson, who has caught some big ones. McCutcheon. Well, we'll find out as Waddy goes right and Jackson left. Who scored a touchdown today, has sacked him.
He's in there for his pass rushing ability. You see Doug France, he just beats him on a strong outside charge. Pat Hayden never saw him.
So Chuck Christ had 2 sacks of Hayden. Alois Grooms now gets the big one, and with 1:56, Glenn Walker will have to punt. The 3rd sack, 19 yards. Grooms, of course, already got headline scoring a touchdown on a pass from Bobby Scott on a play that the Rams might not get over the rest of the year. Mounty deep on his own 30. Walker has 2 punts. He's averaged 43 yards. 1:40 to go in the game. And that missed point after haunting the Rams now. Waddy will let it bounce, and the Rams down there to cover it. It goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. And with 1:28 left to go in the ball game, New Orleans has the ball, and they have a 1-point lead.
Five on the 50-yard line!
Hey, Charlie, it was cold last night. You put in a Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone? You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is...
1:28 to go, 1st and 10 from the New Orleans 36. Here's Muncie on the outside to midfield. Bill Simpson is the only man to get him, and he pushed him out of bounds. He got help from Pat Thomas, and he goes down to the Ram 29-yard line. Chuck Muncie.
Well, I don't quite understand Bill Simpson running along beside him for that long without trying to commit and knock him out of bounds or something.
Watch
the blocking
Galbraith.
is there. The blocking is there. Marv Montgomery, Galbraith making the block. But watch Simpson here. Runs along at 10 yards, 15. There's 20 yards, 25 yards before pushing him out of bounds.
That has to be respect about being faked right out of your helmet. Could very well be. 1st and 10 on the Ram 28-yard line. Herman is right. Childs and Thaxton, 2 tight ends. Muncie following Galbraith. Got across the 25. Bill Simpson had to come up. He needed help, and he got it from Brzezinski, among others.
Albert doing a job on Isaiah Robertson. Marv Montgomery's doing a job on Freddie Dryer, and they're moving the football.
Timeout, Los Angeles. 1 minute and 9 seconds left to go. The New Orleans Saints at 27. The Rams 26.
Five on the 50-yard line!
Hey, Charlie, it was cold last night. You put in a Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone? You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone. We need Prestone.
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Come on, old trademark. Time for your walk. What's the hurry? I know where we're going. To where your family began. With the same Levi's blue jeans worn by this man. Hey, you've come quite a ways, little registered Mark. Now that I see these guys by the park dressed in your newest edition, sums it up right there. Levi's sportswear. Trademark, I know what you'd say if you could. Levi's don't have to be blue, just have to be good.
The Rams are on the ropes, and New Orleans sky high. They have it 2nd and 5 on the Ram 23-yard line. 1 minute and 9 seconds left, and the Saints leading by 1, 27-26. Mouty is split wide right. Childs and Thaxton, the 2 tight ends. Muncie and Galbraith, the running back. Galbraith across the 20 to the 15, with Simpson hanging on for dear life, and Elmendorf at the bottom. And they have torn the Ram line to pieces up the front.
Watch Emmanuel Sanders, watch the blocks of John Hill, and watch the spinning ability and the drive here of Tony Galbraith. He is a player, a bona fide player.
45 seconds left to go. The Rams have only 1 timeout left. And the ball 1st and 10 on the Ram 12-yard line. Here comes Muncie to the 10, to the 5. Brzezinski and Simpson making the tackles inside the 5. 20 seconds left to go. The Rams desperately asking for timeout, but it's not going to help them. 12 seconds. Timeout, they're hollering. Chuck Knox saying, will you stop the clock? 5 seconds. And now they've stopped it. But it won't do them any good. With 5 seconds left to go, the New Orleans Saints are going to march.
Rugged as the men who run it, men who fell the mighty fir and see it rise again. When the time in your life comes to get a chainsaw, get the King. Homelight, the Chainsaw King.
Whose reputation for quality parts is over half a century old? Where can you find over 100,000 parts, many of them better than your car's original parts? And who also supplies those parts to over 50,000 professional mechanics? Now, who should you see for quality parts? NAPA, that's N-A-P-A. We help keep America moving.
They backed the clock up 3 seconds because one official had already called the timeout prior to having it had run down to 5. So here come the Saints leading by a point. 2nd down, 2 yards to go, the ball on the 4, and if Scott just falls down on the ball, the Saints have won it. Boy, what running back, Galbraith and Muncie. And Muncie behind Galbraith is going to go out of bounds with 4 seconds left, and it would appear as if it's awfully close to that needed 1st down. Not that it's that important, right, Hawk?
Those are the small areas, though, that eventually you may lose the game by running out of bounds when all you had to do to win it is to stay inbounds and run the clock out. But the Rams about this time saying, get the fork, I'm done.
4 seconds left, and they would appear to be done. Our thanks to our producer, Bob Stenner, our director, Tony Verna, our statistician, Dr. Bob Woods, as Hank Stram, with 2 of the finest young running backs you will see anywhere by the name of Tony Galbraith and Chuck Muncie, with a backup quarterback named Bobby Scott. They have capitalized on 3 Ram fumbles. A big capitalization was when the Rams missed the point, so they had to settle for 26 instead of 27, and that point is going to kill them here in New Orleans today.
Another thing we might point out, I don't think it'll ever come to this, is the fact that the Rams beat the Saints by 7 points in their first game. In case of a tie in that division, and right now, who knows what's going to happen in that division? Them scoring could be a difference somewhere along the season.
The Rams figured to win this one. Atlanta figured to lose, and Atlanta lost. But the Rams are going to lose. 3rd down and a yard to go on the 3. And there's only 4 seconds left. Scott to Muncie. And he fumbles. And the Rams might have recovered, but time, I believe, has run out. It is finally picked up by Saxton, the tight end, but it had long been whistled dead. According to the clock, it is all over, and it is. The New Orleans Saints have upset the Los Angeles Rams as Hank Stram has won his 2nd game this year, and how sweet this one was.
Fred, you're getting married. You gotta look great, so stop shaving. It's better to get stroked in the morning.
The Bic shaver?
The Bic shaver is so responsive it doesn't shave you, it strokes you.
I'm going to get stroked like this every morning.
And the Bic shaver's cheaper than blades, yet it's a blade and handle in one.
Fred, marriage agrees with you.
Well, he really got stroked this morning.
The Bic shaver, lots of great shaves from just one Bic shaver. Then it's time for the next. So don't shave, get stroked in the morning.
I got enough to worry about. My hairline, my waistline. When it comes to my money, our money,
We let someone else help us do the worrying.
our IDS representative, he worries about planning for our future. And that means not just life insurance, but investments and savings, too.
IDS, not just insurance, not just investments, but a financial plan designed especially for you. When it comes to your money, let us help you do the worrying. IDS, we help people manage money.
Over 59,023 actually here at the Superdome, seeing New Orleans beat the Rams for the 4th time in 18 meetings. All 4 meetings and all 4 victories taking place here in New Orleans. Today, New Orleans capitalizing on 3 Ram fumbles, got 27 points. The Rams would have had 27, but on that 1 point, a bad pass from center plus an offsides on the play, and the Rams wind up being haunted and eventually lose because of that point. New Orleans 27 and Los Angeles 26. Remember, next Saturday, Championship Saturday, starting at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, the Series Championship of Women's Tennis, followed by our CBS Sports Spectacular, the World Middleweight Boxing Championship battle between Valdez and Briscoe. After that, the Washington, D.C. International, and the 5th round of the World's Strongest Men of the 5 of the decathlon events. That's all coming up Saturday, November the 5th, starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then the CBS Sports Spectacular at 4 p.m. We sure hope you'll join us then. So the Rams have been beaten here in New Orleans. They go home a loser. Atlanta lost to Minnesota. The NFC West is still wide open. This is Vin Scully for Alex Hawkins. Hope you enjoyed the ball game, and the NFL Today is a presentation of CBS Sports. Now, we'll take you to CBS Sports. But before we do, here in New Orleans, as we watch this large crowd enjoying this 1-point victory, the Rams go home, and to finish up their schedule, they will play Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and San Francisco. They have 3 games in a row to get well. The NFL Today is still a presentation of CBS Sports.
Will the grand jury blow the lid off Wyoming's state capitol? It's high noon in Cheyenne as 60 Minutes looks at charges of corruption in state government. Tonight on CBS.